I want to know this. What is your definition of failure?
I think it's self-sabotage. I think we are mentally holding ourselves back from something, and I think it is all in our head. I was in a place where I was like, there's no room for promotion, and I heard they were opening up a new position for a supervisor, and I was like, oh yeah, I got this, like, enough, you're not gonna be anything in life, just stay motivated.
Through this show, we strive to create a world where young individuals feel empowered to express themselves, where educators and students become partners in shaping the future, and where parents and young adults build bridges of understanding that span the generations. We aim to create a society where everyone's voice is heard, valued, and respected. Welcome to Coach's Corner.
What's up? Hey, it's Coach Cornell. We back at Coach's Corner talk show, man. Hey, this episode 2. We got a special guest, special guest, man. My beautiful niece, Lauryn J. Greer. Man, come give your uncle a hug, man. Come give your uncle a hug. You good? Thanks for coming. Thank you. How you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Hey, man. Blessed and not stressed, you feel me? Blessed and not stressed, man. You want some water?
Yes,
I got you the water, man. You in the living room of Coach's Corner right now. You in that living room.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, so I want to get right into it. Let's get right into it. Let's go to your middle school year. School year. Let's start talking about your. Did you have any, struggles, obstacles that you faced in middle school? Your middle school years?
I think moving to a new state, starting off my middle school year was like the biggest obstacle because all of my friends I've known since as long as I can remember, I grew up with, and then I'm going to a new state and starting off not knowing anyone for middle school, which is like one of the biggest obstacles.
So where did you come from?
Iowa.
And you moved to California?
Yes.
So you went from 50,000 people to about 600,000 people.
Literally.
Oh my goodness. In the middle school years.
Yeah, so indoor schools to like campus style.
Oh my goodness. So how did that, your first, just getting out that car, your first time getting out that car, going into your first middle school? Yeah,
so I came out in the summer time before 7th grade. So instead of getting that experience in 6th grade where you like go tour your middle school and you get to kind of know like what classes there are, I was coming in the summer, so I missed out on that opportunity. So I didn't really get the opportunity to know like what school I was going to, where my classes would be. So literally my first day was like my first day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So let's keep going with it. So when you walked in there, how was that? Just anxiety-wise, like what? How did that go for you?
So I really feel like that was the year where I learned how to be more outgoing versus before I was like a lot more shy. I wouldn't be the first to kind of initiate a conversation. If people talk to me, they talk to me first. But whereas here I was kind of forced to initiate conversation, relationships. And I think I just really gained more confidence in that. Yes, it was very anxious because I didn't know anybody, whereas everyone else had their groups, their cliques, they had their friends. I was just kind of like, oh, I'm alone. But it was quick before I had like friends,
Your friends.
So,
that's
yeah.
cool. That's cool. Did you see do you remember any, I like to ask this question, any teachers that stood out to you that kind of embraced you when you came in?
I feel like in California, just because there's so many kids, it's a lot harder to get closer, especially because in middle school, 7 classes, there's just so many kids. So I didn't really interact with my teachers as much as I would have maybe if I was going to a smaller school. Yeah, I
never looked at it like that.
Yeah.
Speaking of, that's why I made this platform for teachers to be able to speak. Like, I want to know, why is it, do you feel that there's a gap between educators and students?
In a way, yes. I was actually really shocked to see the dynamic moving out here, just kind of how different it was in like the mental state of kids and like the concern in teachers. I feel like it was not taken as seriously as it should have been, because that's one of the most important years in a person's like life.
Yeah.
Your youth is, you're very impressionable during that time. So it's very easy to be, not understanding yourself, going through, mental struggles that you probably wouldn't have in your early childhood. Right. So I think that it's just important for teachers to kind of understand that. And if you notice a kid struggling, or, they're going in a path that's not regular, you should probably look into it. Because.
So what did you see out here in middle school, like other kids? Like what did you see what was different about, because I'm from Iowa too, and I see the difference between us and this. Like, what did you see? Any struggles with kids? Did they express their feelings? Like, what did you see?
I just think that the teachers kind of stoop down to the levels of the students rather than being more of mentors. So if like a kid was going through being different or, bullying, I feel like the teachers kind of did not aid to that. They kind of contributed. So.
Did you see any bullying in middle school?
Of course.
Wow.
Even amongst like, especially in PE, it's when I seen it the most. Like, the teachers were pretty tough. Yeah.
So you went to middle school, then you went to high school. You went to Clovis High, right? So you went to Clovis High. From your graduation class was what?
2021.
So 2021. How many people do you know?
A lot.
Yeah. So way more than 400 people.
There's a ton of kids. Like,
So,
I see people all the time, and they're like, "Yeah, I went there," and I'm like, "I've never seen you. Like, it's so big."
Man, that's crazy to experience that coming from Iowa.
Yeah, everyone.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So freshman year, you walk into them doors. Like, what was going through your head when you seen all these big kids walking around and just the campus lifestyle?
Yeah, so I think that high school was way more of a breeze because the friends that I went into high school with were my friends in junior high, and I'm still friends with them till this day. So that was just fun, it was a lot more fun. I had my friends. So I wasn't alone going into high school. I also had my brother there, so a lot more knowledge going into it. I knew where my classes would be. I already knew who my counselors and stuff because my brother was there for the longest amount of time. And I knew more about my teachers going into Clovis High.
Got you. So what was, especially as a female, it's so different for you guys, right? And just respect-wise, I don't feel that you guys get the respect that you guys deserve, especially in high school, man.
Yeah.
I'm a coach, so I see it and hear about it all the time. Like, did you struggle with any things of just being a female at Clovis High?
I do feel like there were certain obstacles, just maturity-wise, the way that girls were treated by the men our age is totally different, even because they're just, I don't know if it's a maturity thing, but you did see a lot of men degrading women a lot just growing up, and it never got nipped in the butt. It was just kind of a thing that you're just okay, you just get used to because you're a girl and boys will be boys. That's what you're always told, especially with dress code as well. Girls have it very tough, and it's a lot harder to shop because everything that's affordable can be revealing, or your shoulders are exposed, it's too revealing, it's too distracting. So it was almost like growing up in a world where we had to aid to being sexualized by teachers, men. So it's just,
Yeah. I want to stay on that topic a little bit too. And you're a black female, right? African American female at Clovis High.
Yeah.
Did you feel like in that school wise, did they have anything to really give you that identity? This is who I am, right? Did they have that? Any platforms in that school?
Yeah, so we did have AASU, which was a great club. My junior year, I ran for president for it and made it. Loved it. It was a great way to just interact with other Black individuals at your school. And I feel like for Black people, that's so important to be around people like you, that get you, that understand you. So we definitely did have resources and teachers around us. Not as much as we'd probably like, but yeah.
That's good. So they have it's called AAU. What is it?
AASU, African American Student Union.
Okay, that's dope. That's dope. So that's something you have to sign up for?
You can sign up for it, but you can just show up to a meeting. They have them during lunch. Sometimes they'll have like off-campus events, which is like the African American Conference, which is super big. They hand out scholarships to like a bunch of colleges. You get to meet people from different colleges. It's great resources. If you're in high school right now, definitely utilize it. Very great.
Cool. So you graduated in 2021?
Yes.
So you was doing COVID time?
Yes.
Man, so kind of, breeze on that. How was COVID for you, and what did you learn from COVID?
Yeah. So I was taking a class called CART. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's a more hands-on school, like career-based. So they have like law, marketing and entrepreneurship, which like science classes, really big. They have like biomed. I took a marketing and entrepreneurship class. This was my junior year. So I only got to do that for half the year before we went on to the pandemic. But the last day we actually had an expo where you get to, make a brand and like, we all set up our brands and stuff and sell what we're making. And I launched a lip gloss brand and I made so much. And then after that, it was like our last day. Like it was just like, okay, like no more school, we're going on lockdown. So I know like so many of our classmates were just distraught because like we're starting something so big and we all had like made so many connections and we got so close because these are schools from all over Fresno Unified and Clovis Unified School District. So it was big. Yeah. You met so many different people's stories. And then we were just like, oh, like, I don't know when I'm going to see you again. So it was tough.
So that got stripped from you guys.
Literally. Like everything that we had worked so hard for with our brands and stuff. And we were just like, okay, like that was it.
When did you realize when it was like, oh, this is real? Like, this ain't no joke. Like, we really on lockdown. We really got to wear masks. Like, when did that really settle for you? Like,
I think the first day, like, my mom picked me up and I was with my friends, my two friends and my brother, and I was just like crying. Like, I was just devastated. And they're like, it's okay. Like, you'll get to go back. But we really didn't. Like, I never got a senior year. Yeah.
Wow. That gave me goosebumps when you just said that. When not having that senior year and waiting for that one moment that everybody wait for when you hit high school is to graduate and you get to walk that stage and your family screaming your name.
Yeah.
That got stripped from you.
Yes, they did give us a bit of an opportunity to have, like, I believe 5 tickets, whereas the class of 2020 did not get that at all. I actually did get a graduation. You did have to wear, like, masks. And, again, it wasn't the same because versus, like, my brother's graduation, we had family from everywhere come out, and I only got 5 people. Yeah. So that was a bit tough.
Yeah. So what did you learn from COVID? Like, what did you learn from the pandemic mentally for yourself?
I think that it just was like a reality check. Like, make sure that your career path that you're choosing can withstand something like this. I think it was just a wake-up call for so many people. A lot of people are losing businesses. They were going through states of depression because it was like, for the first time in forever, like nothing was open. There wasn't anything fun to do. You were at home. And I think there were some individuals that took that as an opportunity to grow, which is, again, so important. We can't let ourselves, just once the world stops, we kind of stop trying to. So I just think it was like a learning curve for everyone. Like, take your opportunities and run with them.
Right. Did you in this world we live in now, right? As a female, I swear, y'all, social media and everything, like, how can you keep yourself sane knowing that you are enough right now? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In a social media world we live in where 98% of it is fake, right?
Yes.
And then you have everybody's phone has a filter. You know what I'm saying? Like, so how do you keep yourself sane enough and just know that, this is me, this is how I want my body, this is what I want to look like. I'm not trying to look like anybody else.
I think the main thing that's just most important is letting yourself not need social media. Like, you don't need to post every day. You don't need to fit into said beauty standards. And I think growing up in that generation where that's so important and big and like snap streaks and your Snap story and your Instagram stories, you can lose yourself mentally, like getting used to a filter and then looking at yourself in the mirror and not seeing that. And I think it's just important that people know it's okay to set your phone down. It's okay to delete Instagram. It's okay to, get rid of these filters that are creating an idea of what you're supposed to look like in your head when you're already beautiful, Yeah. So I just think it's...
Did you ever go through, like, growing up, like, did you ever go through that phase where you didn't feel that you was beautiful enough?
Of course. I feel like that's just, it's nobody's perfect. You're always going to fall into that regularly, especially growing up in a society where social media is so big and there's so many celebrities that are, this is what's pretty, this is what's not, this is the body shape you're supposed to have. And growing up in a environment where it's predominantly white, you also really have to remember that you might not be the beauty standard here, but somewhere else you are.
That's true. So how did you said you dealt with it. How did you, what's in your circle? You got people in your circle that helps you with keeping your identity alive, like keeping that strong African-American woman alive? Like, do you have people around you like that?
Yes, I have a lot of great people that are constantly, just giving reassurance, and we constantly motivate each other to feel good about ourselves, which is so important to just keep people like that around you, because it can get rough,
That's dope. That's dope. I see that, like, I could get with you on this level too. Why do you feel it's a gap between generations?
In a way, yes. I think that some of our generations to time have been very closed-minded, where like, this is the way it should be, this is how I grew up, Yeah. We get very biased,
So so you're 20, right? I'm 35, right? So we got a big gap in between. So the things that I feel that's what I grew up on, right? So I'm just now learning that how my parents raised me is not all what, what I'm saying? It's not what everything that you got to get a job, you got to do this.
Yeah.
Right? No, I don't feel that way, right? So you're getting raised by your parents, right? Did you ever feel like it wasn't they didn't understand you and some of the things that you wanted to do?
I think my parents molded me into the idea that like college is important, school is important, don't take things for granted. And while I loved that, I think by the time I got to my senior year, I was like scrambling the pieces. I think they created this like person that was like, I have to go to college, I have to be perfect, I have to have the best career. And that's not healthy, because by the time I got to my senior year, I didn't even really know what I wanted to do. I just knew that I had to go to college. And my career path, I don't even really need it. Right. But I felt like I needed to be successful. So.
Man, that's deep because sometimes it feel like my son, he's 15, right? Mm. And I'm telling him like, hey bro, time is gonna fly. Like you need to figure out what you want. And like you said, senior year came and you're like, oh snap.
Yeah, it comes fast and you're gonna change your mind 1,000 times. You'll have it figured out your sophomore year, and then junior year you're like, oh, I want to do something different. And then you'll have a million people tell you like, no, that's not a good career path. Or I've heard people do that and they weren't successful. And what I always tell people, I have a friend that when I was a senior, he was a freshman. And I always tell him, if you set your mind to something and you find yourself continuously going back to it, or what you find joy in is that career path, do it. Like, people are going to tell you that's unlikely to happen, or you might not be successful, or you might not make a lot, but do it. If you keep going back to that, do it. Don't let anybody take that from you.
See, that's pretty dope, man. When you look at it in your perspective as a 20-year-old, mm-hmm. where as parents we try to plan your guys' life, mm-hmm. right? And that could be not thinking, that could be overwhelming for you.
Yeah.
For you guys at that young of an age. Is there any advice that you got from older person that was like, I can take that and I wanna use that for my life as I grow up?
I think just following like your heart. You know, people are gonna tell you 1,000 times like, you should do this or you should do that, or you should invest in this or that, but do your own research, find what you want to do. I have a lot of people around me that tell me like, as long as you do your research and as long as you come to a common ground with that and that's something you want to do it, you know.
So you have your parents seem like they're the type of parents where they're like free-minded, like let you go out there. Once you got older and started expressing yourself, mm-hmm. how are they now as a young adult? How are they teaching you now from what they taught you in high school?
I think they're a lot more accepting. I think before they kind of projected how they wanted their lives to go onto my siblings and I, but at the end of the day, they're just like, you guys have your own journeys, and as much as we want the best for you, like, this is your life, and we're not gonna step into that, which is great. And I think I've expressed that a lot with my mom and dad. Like, me and my siblings, all we want to do is make them proud. Like, I think that's every kid's dream, make their parents proud. So it's a lot when they project on you instead of kind of helping you find your path, which is like way more beneficial in my opinion.
Yeah. But, no, that's dope that you said that. So I kind of want to touch on the base of, you know, when you're younger, you're like, man, I can't wait till I get older.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So since you about to be 21, so that's 18 is kind of like, okay, this is adulthood now.
Yeah.
How has that transition been for you since you are an adult now?
Yeah.
Have to have a job, got to pay certain bills. Like, how is that?
I think that it's so funny because my dad used to tell me all the time, like, don't take high school for granted. Don't take this for granted. Like, you're going to miss it. You're going to miss it. And in high school, I hated it. Like, every day I'd be like, I can't wait to graduate. Like, I hate high school. I hate, like, going to school every day. And now it's like, that's when me and my friends had the same schedule. I seen them every day. We had no worries, nothing to stress about, no bills. And it was just like, you know, it's like reminiscing on that is just like, dang, like we really had it so good. Yeah. And now I barely see my friends, you know, like we're just so busy with our careers and school.
So what would you tell that high school kid right now? Like, as you in that adult phase of your life, like, what would you tell them?
It sounds so cliche. I remember when people would tell me this and I'd be like, okay, but you're going to miss high school. Like, do not take it for granted. Do not take for granted that you and your friends have the same schedule right now. And, like, it gets tough trying to see your friends, and once they get into their own relationships and once they start college, and some of your friends might be going to different states, cities, like keep that in mind while you're like, I hate high school, because it's going to change a lot. It's going to be a big shift.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty. When you look at it, I've been to high school. We still talk about. I've been out of high school since '06, bro. You know what I'm saying? I still be up there reminiscing, like, man. And then I'll be like, I wish I would have kind of did that differently. You know what I'm saying? But let's talk about. I want to know this. What is your definition of failure?
I think it's self-sabotage. I think we are mentally holding ourselves back from something, and I think it is all in our head.
Failure's all in your head.
I think that if we overcome that, we can overcome anything.
So have you had any, like, you tried something and fell at it and then you stopped, or did you go back? Like, what's your personality? Like, I fell at it, or I'm going to try something else? Or do you go right back at it again as a learning?
I feel like I let myself get down about things. And I think that's just, in the career field I'm in now, I was in a place where I was like, there's no room for promotion. And I heard they were opening up a new position for a supervisor. And I was like, oh yeah, I got this. Like, I get complimented all the time. Like, I'm going to get this job. Like, they're going to ask me. And I ended up not getting asked. And I was very shocked. I was like, what? Like, I have perfect attendance. I go above and beyond for my job. I always take initiative. People come to me for help, training. So I was really shocked. And I let that get me down. And I think there is like where I was like, oh, I failed. Like I'm never going to get promoted. And literally a few weeks later, our regional director, so she oversees like all of California, and she referred me for a position. She was like, I need her, I want her, I don't care how much she wants and pay, I want her. And that was just like, wow, you know, because if one opportunity you don't get it, the next one is right around the corner. Like, you're just one step closer. Right. So yeah, I do think I let myself get down, and I think I learned from that experience that if you can't get one, you can get another. Right. So.
And that right there too, for that experience wise, I just wanted people to, you know, take that what she just said is the timing wasn't for you. Mm-hmm. That time wasn't for you, right? Yeah. You thought it was that time, but somebody had something else in mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, we about to get you something better. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because you could have took that job and you could have got that certain pay.
Literally.
You know what I'm saying?
And it wasn't for me, and I'm happy with where I'm at right now.
Man, timing is everything, man. God is the dude up there, man. I don't know which spiritual, where y'all at, but I know where he at for us, man. Before we close out, I want you to kind of give something to a younger, you know, female that's out there in the world that's struggling, just trying to make it, man. I want you to give them encouragement words real quick, and then that's it, man.
I just think that it's extremely important to not get overwhelmed by growth and growing up, because it gets so overwhelming thinking that you're not where you need to be. It will come to you. Like, give it time, keep working hard. Do not let yourself feel like you're not enough, you're not going to be anything in life. Just stay motivated.
Love it, man. You heard it first from my niece, Lauryn J. Greer, man. I want to say thank you for coming on my show.
Thank you for having me.
You know, your uncle, we ain't doing that. We doing everything we do is top notch. You feel me? So, hey, that's it for Coach's Corner. We got Lauryn J. Greer in the house. Come give me a hug, man. Thank you for coming on there. That's it. That's Coach Cordell. That's the wrap. Let's go.
Welcome to Coach's Corner, a platform dedicated to giving students and young adults